Hey everyone, welcome to part 5 of my 7-part series looking at cleaning your headlights, different ways to clean your headlights. Today we're looking at one of the options we're looking at. If you watched all my previous videos, and I hope you have, you'll notice that I talk about my original 5-part series, and it became a 7-part series. I came across a couple additional things. I approached one of those additional things with the Coca-Cola on the last video. This video here will be approaching something else. So let's show you that right now, shall we? So the product you're going to be looking at is this one by Rust-oleum called Wipe New. I went to the store looking for a more traditional headlight cleaning store-bought product, just so we can test that out too. You know, the ones that normally come with sanding paper, buffing pads, blah blah blah. I did get one of those, so that'll be actually the next video. But then I saw this one, and this one made some pretty bold claims, and I said, gotta give it a try. So this one here, as you can see, it says, see what you've been missing. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. And it says, guaranteed to pass inspection for the life of your vehicle. It's pretty significant claims. On the back here, it does include quite a bit. It includes one precision wipe it infused with Wipe New. I guess it's obviously, as you can see by the trademarks and so on, it's a brand stuff. Cleaning solution, professional lens polishing pad, microfiber towel, one pair of nitrate gloves, and instruction sheet. So when we open this up, you can see the Wipe New stuff that is separate. It also talks pretty significantly about it. It says here, wear a chemical resistance glove before opening, not packaged for individual sale. Well, who cares about individual sale? But the point is that it's got chemical resistant gloves, so this stuff seems like it's pretty strong stuff. Inside here, so I would take it out, we got this package here as well. And in the package, of course, we've got the instruction manual, the microfiber cloth, polishing cloth, everything that you need to do it in there. C1 precision wipe it infused Wipe New, same thing, polishing band, gloves, towel, etc. So this promises to be a quick, easy job. The price was about half of what one of those store-bought kits was. In Canadian funds, the store-bought kit was $30. The one I went for a pretty decent one that is typical. And then this one here was about 15 Canadian. So we're going to give this a go, and we're going to see. The car we're using this on today is my actual driver's side headlight on my Grand Prix. It's starting to fade out. If you look, some of the clear is starting to come off on here. It's starting to get discolored. It's got a lot of stone chips and everything from everyday driving. This may not be the best test, if I may be honest, for the headlight, but I'm running out of headlights for all these tests, to be honest. But you know, it should help take off some of the discoloring. I doubt it's going to take care of any of the clear or anything that's coming off, but it'll help with taking off some of the color. At least that's the hope. And we're going to kind of do a comparison of before and after it, obviously, and see how it goes. First thing to do, we got to clean it though. Of course, so when cleaning, normally you'd rinse down a little bit of water, get any loose particles or anything off first, and then you apply soap. I haven't rinsed it down, but make sure you rinse down first. In this case here, I'm just going to take a clean sponge with some car wash and nice soapy lather, and we're just going to clean that off. Get rid of as much contaminants, oils, grease, anything from the road as possible. And then we're just going to rinse that off. It looks pretty good already, but don't let that fool you, as you saw when it's even dry, that it is actually looking pretty rough. Then we'll get our drying cloth. I'm just going to dry around. Make sure you get everywhere you can as well. You want to get off as much water as you can. You don't want water to be contaminating your work area, especially with some of the chemical-based stuff we'll be working with. Alright, before we begin, I actually want to address a couple things. This being a new product, of course, I wanted to read over the instructions and make sure I'm giving you guys the right information in case you do consider it and in case it works out quite well. So a few things to point out is that it takes about 1 hour to dry from when we finish the product. So obviously I'll be taking that into consideration. And also you want to give it 24 hours before it gets into anything like rain, sprinklers, car washes, anything like that. It says it here in the instructions, but as you know, I've been preaching it across all the videos. Make sure when you're doing this, the headlight is cool. It's a cool day. You don't want anything too hot or be in the shade if it is a hot day. Make sure the plastic particularly is cold. Also, this stuff here, this white new stuff, also seems to be quite potent, as in that they say if you get it on paint, clean it off immediately. So if you're going to do this, while I will be exercising some caution, and I unfortunately won't be doing it, I do recommend that if you are going to do it, you mask off the area. So if you can, get some body paint, tape off the area. Use any bags if you can, just to protect the body of the car. This stuff seems to be quite strong, if this is to be believed. Also, as you see, it's dry now. You can see it still has the pitting and staining and stuff like that. But this also says, unsurprisingly, that it will not clean the inside. That's obvious. But it will actually help take care of some of the outside pitting and stuff like that, because it has some polishing pads that come with it. So we're going to give that a go and get started on that right now. So the next step is we have to actually wet sand it. So they give us this little sanding block here. This side is a stage 1 and this side is a much finer grit, which is a stage 2. So obviously wet sanding it, you have to make sure the headlight is wet. So I know we just dried it off and everything. That was the purpose of getting all the grime, dirt, everything like that off. Now we're going to do the wet sand process. So I'm just going to wet the headlight. And while it's wet, I'm going to wrap the sanding pad. Not light pressure, you don't want anything too rough. And you also want to be careful, watch out for the body of the car. You don't want to damage the body of your car when you're doing this. So pretty much I'm doing it till I no longer feel a roughness to it, so that it feels like a smooth finish. I can already feel it over here. It feels actually a lot smoother than it did previously. Now, as per the instructions, this will look very discolored as you work, but the coloring will actually come off. That's if, of course, if the headlight's really truly very discolored. Mine aren't too much discolored, so much so as it just has very light staining and of course the pitting and everything. The next step on the other side now, this is the side to do the finer grit, and it's for more advanced polishing. So again, we're just going to put on the water here. Let's get some extra hose there. Put that down. And we're going to go over it with the finer gray side, which is the finer grit. And again, we're just going over and ensuring a nice, smooth finish. I will tell you that, nothing else. When I started this was much rougher, and it does feel a lot smoother now. A lot better, actually. It'll be interesting to see what the final results is on this test. Okay. Once completed, you take the microfiber cloth that's provided. I suppose any cloth will do, any drying cloth or anything, but they actually specify this is the only reason they really give you this for drying purposes. So we shall use it for. Also doing again around the outside of the body, getting as much off as possible. Okay, I'm going to give that a minute just to settle a little more before we start working on the chemical. So while I wait for the headlight to dry, I just want to talk a little bit more about this Wipe new stuff. One thing it actually says on here is that when this dries, it can use multiple headlights multiple times, but only one-time use, which, as you can see, there's a single-use Wipe It. From what I read on the instructions, it says that when this dries out, it's done. You can't use it anymore. So if you're going to do it, make sure you do it one shot. If you're going to do like both your headlights, as a fog lights, tail lights, anything, you make sure you get everything prepped first time around, and then you go ahead with applying this on, because once this dries out, it's done. It is worth noting too, it also says that if you are going to be, when you're done with this, you need to get rid of it. You got to wait for it to dry out before you dispose of it. I guess to let anything evaporate out of there, whatever the chemical is that you're using in here. But aside from that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. So I'm going to give that, again, another couple minutes to dry out, and then we'll get started. Alright, so now that I've let it dry thoroughly, you can see it's actually formed a bit of a haze to it. So we're going to use this now to clean it off. This should be cleaning everything off of that, cleaning that haze off. As I said before, it is a one-time use cloth. Also, as it also makes sure to specify, it says do not get it onto the paint in any way. And last thing, it's just a single wipe. So when you apply it on, that's it. I could tell you by opening this thing, holy Lord, this thing smells terrible. But we're going to go now, single wipe as it states. Being careful to avoid any of the body work. Corner here is of particular interest. There. As you can see, there's been some contaminant and stuff that's come off there. Now we're going to just do a quick inspection to make sure we got everywhere around, so it's nice and consistent. Yeah, I think she's good. Alright, so I'm going to give it the 1 hour that it states that it needs to dry, and then we'll check it out in that time and see what we get. Alright, so just about an hour has passed, and we can take a look now, and I gotta be honest with you, I am thoroughly impressed. Look, you can see me. Hey, how's it going? It's taking care of almost everything across the headlight. Obviously, just using the wipe itself, I don't think that would have done it. It's obviously using the polishing pads, which help. But the wipe, you only need the wipe if there's no pitting, damage, failing of the clear coat that's coming off or anything like that. And instead, you're just looking to clear off the haze. The headlights condition just got the haze. You'd only need the wipe. However, in this case here, as you saw, I had all the pitting, and you can see it's over here as a reminder. That's how it looked before on this side. Now look, it's completely clear. Go around there and you can see. So the products worked out quite well, actually. It's clear, nice. The only thing I seem to have noticed on here versus more professional setups is that it doesn't have a UV protection, or if it does, it's not actually listed within that product that it has a UV protection in it. So I'm not sure how this will work in the long term. It does say on the box, guaranteed to pass inspection for life. However, I'm not sure how this will handle day-to-day use in the sun, things like that. But for the impression I have right here, right now, this is actually quite good, and so this has been excellent, actually. So hopefully this has helped you decide on a product between this video and the previous videos as well. Of course, we'll have 2 more tests to do, so make sure to check those out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know you guys like what I'm doing. Other than that, I'll see you next video.